Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everybody. Welcome to the chat with Pat number. I don't recall. Je m'en rappelle pas. Je sais plus où je suis rendu là. Je commence à vieillir, and we're close to end of June, so summertime. So it will be our last chat with Pat just before Olympic Games. Alors, ce sera notre dernier chat with Pat juste avant les Jeux Olympiques. Alors, mesdames, messieurs, laissez-moi, on va vous présenter notre invité. I will present you our guest today. He's very special. Let me tell you, he's very special. Il est très spécial. Alors, il a été directeur technique de Judo Canada de 84 à 87, directeur de la haute performance du Centre d'entraînement national de 87 à 89, entraîneur de Judo Canada, membre du comité technique, président. Okay, I'm going to stop this right there. I'm going to bring him online because we need to see Louis, and I'm going to stop saying what he's been doing all his life because he's been doing so many things. So, Louis, please welcome to the chat with Pat, Louis.
Thank you very much, Pat, and I'm glad that you're having me on the show tonight.
Oh, je suis très content. I'm very happy. And you've done so many things, Louis, that, you know, it's going to take me probably an hour to read everything that you've done. So I'm going to resume that you have been involved in judo for many, many years. And you've been practicing judo for many years. And I'm not going to say your age, right? You're young.
The good thing is that I'm old enough that I've forgotten half of what I've done. So that, you know, it will be shorter.
That's perfect. So, well, we know one thing. It's you've been 10-time national champion, right?
Correct.
10 fois champion canadien.
C'est bien
D'après
ça.
moi, c'est dans les records. It's one of like records.
Je crois qu'il y en a pas mal qui. Ben, il y en a d'autres qui ont fait aussi bien. Il y en a même un que je connais bien, Brad Farrow, qui en a eu 11.
Oh, I'm disappointed in you, Louis. You're not the one with 12? No way. Yeah, no, it's impossible.
Well, yeah, but hold on a second, Pat. You know, officially I never retired, you know, so I'm planning a comeback for next year's Nationals, the Open.
Another one? Another comeback?
It's another comeback.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to ask that question in front of everybody, you know. No. We're waiting for your comeback, Louis. We're waiting for it.
Keep waiting.
5 times to World Championship and 5th, if my memory is good. Did you finish 5th?
That was in the World Cup.
World Cup in 85. Selected for 3 Olympic Games. Unfortunately,
yes,
1980. Indeed.
Yeah. Me and all my teammates, we suffered the boycott of the 1980 Olympic Games, and so we didn't get to go. And it was quite a huge disappointment in an athlete's life, obviously. And so this is why, you know, in spite of all the controversies about the Tokyo Games coming up, I'm glad for the athletes that they are taking place, because I think the games are for the athletes first and foremost. You know, it's not for spectators, it's not for sponsors, it's for the athletes. And that the athletes can go to the Olympic Games, it's important.
Oui, c'est vrai. Hein? Avec cette pandémie-là, on pensait vraiment que probablement on n'aurait pas de jeux, mais effectivement, pour toi qui l'as vécu, de ne pas avoir fait les Jeux en 80, je pense que ceux qui attendaient ça, ils vont être très contents d'y participer. Hein?
Exactement. Donc, c'est très bien comme ça. Voilà. On leur souhaite bonne chance, par contre.
Ah, tout à fait. Ben, ils n'ont pas besoin de chance, ils se sont préparés. On dit que la chance n'existe pas, c'est la continuité d'une longue préparation. Alors, je ne le dirai pas en anglais, mais voilà, c'est fait.
Okay. I didn't know we were going to dive into philosophy so early in the chat, so okay.
No, we're not. Stop this. Médaillé d'argent au tournoi de Paris en 84 et au tournoi Cano en 82, n'est-ce pas?
C'est bien ça. Et aussi, j'ajoute médaillé de bronze aussi au tournoi de Paris en 82.
OK, mais il faut que tu nous dises, cette projection, c'est en quelle année?
Ça, c'est 82 de Kano Cup in the Budokan in Tokyo.
Et donc, avec cette photo, c'est ça, c'est où va avoir lieu le site des Jeux olympiques. Et puis, tu avais l'air de forcer, hein? On te voit là, c'est vraiment, ça a l'air, tu forces vraiment, vraiment, vraiment sur la photo.
C'était juste pour donner un air comme ça, parce que je suis un grand technicien, c'est tout en souplesse et puis en douceur avec moi. C'est bien connu.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a great technician.
Anybody who knows me, they always say, Louis never used strength. That's
Oh, never use strength. So are you telling me that this was not strength? This was Louis at his young age.
Okay, this is really
Look at that. Look at these abs. Incredible. You know what? We need to see this picture. We need But
I don't hear you, Pat. Are you still there?
Of course I'm still there. I'm right there. Okay. See? Yes.
I was saying, like the abs, well, they're somewhere. I don't see them anymore, but I know they're there. And I'm trying to grow the sideburns. You see, look, sideburns there.
To look just like when you were a young buck?
Trying to go back to the 70s.
70s. Well, okay. So I'm going to stop saying all the results because there's so many, and you've been incredibly good technician, just like you said. So how does it look like this morning in Ottawa, or tonight, because it's 5:00? So how does it look like in Ottawa?
It was overshadowed all day. It's not raining, but it's somewhere in between. It's nothing special. I'm sure it's so much better in Montreal.
Same as you, but did you paint what you have behind you? C'est toi qui as fait la peinture en arrière?
No, not that one. I have others.
Great. Louis, a lot of people have been asking me that question. You work at Canadian Heritage, but the big question is, what do you do?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, I've been with Canadian Heritage now for over 2 decades, and almost 3 decades. And the first 20 years I was at Sport Canada, and everybody knows what Sport Canada does, which is to finance basically sport association across the countries and the programs. So I was with sport for 20 years, and then the last almost 10 years now, I switched to arts and culture, because Canadian Heritage, it's the department for arts, culture, heritage, and sport. Which explains that I had to buy some paintings. I'm now in arts and culture. So that's why. And and I'm a manager there, and I work with the region. So it allows me to talk to people all across Canada, from coast to coast to coast, and it's very interesting. The way they fund arts and culture is quite different than sport.
Maybe we'll have a.
It's more subtle.
We'll have a. Oh yeah, we'll have to have a chat on this one, but another time. So arts. Okay, we'll remember that for the future. I looked at your résumé, ton CV. J'ai regardé ton CV. Et justement, maintenant, tu es dans les arts, mais j'ai lu dans ton CV que tu avais un bachelor in biology de McGill en 1980. Alors, explique-moi, tu es passé de la biologie au management aux arts. C'est
ça. Which shows that what's really important is to get a diploma. After that, what you do with it, Well, the thing, I started biology, because in those days I was thinking maybe going into, my parents were hoping that I would go into medicine.
Oh, that's
why. I'm a doctor. definitely disappointed them there. I decided instead to become a competitive judoka. But then I was in biology, and so they said, "Well, what are you going to specialize in?" And since I was dealing with judoka all day long, I was saying I decided to go into animal behavior. I thought it would be a useful. So I graduated in biology, animal behavior. Very, very, very useful for judo.
For judo. Oh, yeah. Specifically with the big guys, eh? Yeah, of course. Very interesting. Tell me, why did you started to do judo?
Oh, it's funny. It's something that I always wanted to do from the time I was a small child. And I think it may have, well, first of all, my dad mentioned judo to me, and it was probably, I was 6 years old. I must have been 6 because it was after the 1964 Olympics in Tokyo. And he mentioned that there was a Dutch judoka who had beaten the Japanese in judo at the Olympics. He was talking about Anton Geesink. But he also mentioned that there was a Canadian who had come second, who placed second at the games, Doug Rogers.
Doug Rogers.
Yes, the great Doug Rogers. And so I got, I sort of was interested in that, and and then when I was a little bit older, I was around 8, 9. There was this series of books for kids, for young teenagers, even. It's called Bob Moran. You probably know Bob Moran if you're francophone.
Of course.
Bob Moran. Enfin, du moins les gens de notre génération, Pat, ils connaissent Bob Moran. Et Bob Moran. Bob Moran was an adventurer who's basically travels the world to right wrongs and to beat the bad guys. Always use some jiu-jitsu, judo to dispatch the bad dudes, right?
Ah, that's where
so
it
I was,
comes from.
This is fantastic, right? So I've decided, maybe I'd like to be like Bob Moran. And so I started judo finally, but only after I moved to France. And that a lot of people think that I come from France, but I don't actually. I was born in Montreal, and I moved to France when I was 11 because of my dad's work, and I stayed there for 6 years. So I started judo in France a bit before I was 12. First in a youth center nearby where I was living in Paris. I stayed there until the yellow belt, and I moved to another club because I thought that the teacher there was better. Even though the club was really, the surroundings of the club itself was not very nice, but the teacher was better. And I think what's important more than how nice the dojo looks is who's teaching there, right?
You're teaching
so that teacher, I stayed until I was a blue belt, and then we moved again to a bit outside of Paris to Versailles, and there this is where I got my black belt. I went from blue belt to Shodan at age 15. So basically, it took me about 3.5 years to get my black belt, which tells you I was very, very, very taken by judo. It was like a total passion. I would think about it night and day. When I woke up in the morning, I would start thinking about judo. I would manage to go through school and still get, okay grades. Because, I was planning, my randoris during the class, so... But yeah, so I got my Shodan there. And then when I was 17, I came back to Canada and I continued the practice. And luckily, I landed by pure chance at the Shidokan. I just opened the yellow pages and I looked, okay, I need a judo club. And the first one that came up was the Shidokan. And I saw Mr. Nakamura 6th Dan because he was 6th Dan at the time. And I said, oh, Japanese, 6th Dan. Yeah, he must know something in judo. So.
Of course, he knows. He knew a little bit, just a tiny bit.
But it was really going there, and I met really the first generation of really high performance athletes. I mean, beside Doug Rogers, who was kind of an exception, and he went to train by himself in Japan. Mr. Nakamura was starting to build judo made in Canada. And at that time, when I got there were great judokas, Rainer Fisher, Wayne Erdman, Brad Farrow, There were Alain Legal, Chris Preobrazensky, and others who came later. And these people were training like crazy, really. Sensei at the time, was a tough. If you think he was a tough master when you knew him, just you know nothing, because when he was in his 30s, he was really very tough coach, and these guys were training nonstop and with a very small group. So it becomes very hard soon because everybody knows everybody, and everybody starts to hate everybody, each other. Plus, they had to live together also, and they were so strong, and they were preparing for the 76 Olympics. And I got there, and I was 17, and I was like the big fish in my small club in France. It was a youth club where I was, and so I had won the Paris Junior Championship before I left. I was first year junior, and I won the Paris District Championship. And so I thought that, hey, not bad, but I got there, and then they put me in my place, and they said, okay, come here, Frenchie.
Come here. Let's remettre les pendules à l'heure. C'est ça qu'on dit en français, hein?
Disons, c'est ça. Mais par contre, j'ai souffert pendant un bon 2 ans. Mais j'ai survécu. J'ai survécu, et 2 ans plus tard, j'ai été champion canadien pour la première fois. Donc,
et j'ai une question, je vais rentrer une photo, et on voudrait savoir, là, et c'est qui celui qui est à côté de toi? Il faisait du judo lui aussi?
I don't know him.
You don't know this guy? You've never seen this guy?
It's my dear brother Stephen. Stephen was when he got at the Shidokan, he was younger than me. He was 14, and he became national champion at 18. He was senior champion at 18 because of those years that he was training with the adults at the Shidokan. He was suffering even more than me because he was younger and lighter. But then, a few years later, he was national champion, and everybody says, and it really bugs me. They always said, "Oh, Stephen really he had better technique than Louis." That's not true. Anybody who heard that, it's not true.
Well, we'll have to ask Stephen one of these days, and we'll see. We'll see. So you answered my other question because you said you started judo in France. But, with all the pictures we've managed and to find and to search for today's interview, I found one picture where I was like, oh, I didn't know you had this talent. But, have you become a champion in rollerblade as well?
Oh, that's 1997 in Colorado Springs. I was national coach. And in the preparation for the World Championship that were to be in Paris, I took the team for a couple of weeks of just high altitude training at Colorado Springs. And that's where that picture was taken. So we would go for hikes, we would go for bicycling rides in the mountains, and also, as you can see, rollerblading. And
do you have video of this? It could be, if you could send us the video, we could do a best of, or something.
No, but I actually, it's too bad that I don't have the videos of my adventure on a bicycle, because I was a big believer in bicycling, for preparing the athletes in those days, physically. And so we did some bicycling in several camps, and I was trying to follow. But at the time, I couldn't follow with the athletes, and I was a coach, and then sometimes we also did cross country, trails in the woods, and I took some spills there, man. I went flying a few times. Once I went flying, landed on my back with the bicycle on top, with the feet still in the stirrups.
Still in the. Oh my. Oh, build strong. Yes, of course. That's what I'm saying. You survived.
I live to tell the tale. Here we go.
All right. So you've been traveling around the world. Do you know how many countries you've visited?
Actually, I knew you were going to ask that question, and I never counted. So let's say 50.
You never count.
Let's say 50.
Around 50 and over.
Well, no. Well, we traveled a lot, but in the end, you always end up traveling more or less to the same countries. When you're an athlete, it's the same circuit, right? But if I add, travels I did as an athlete and as a coach afterwards, yeah, maybe it's more than 50 then. Yeah,
and manager, because I saw you to some Francophonie games, or
I was I was team leaders at the Francophone Games. I was also team leaders at one Olympic Games, the 2004 Games. I was a team leader there.
So you're probably at 60.
I was also with Sport Canada at the Beijing Olympic Games. So there I had my silly servant hat on, and so no, I've been coaching, but also doing team leader duties as well.
15 years on the national team, and we had that discussion previously. When did you officially retire?
My last competition was 1993, but I don't remember ever sending an official letter of retirement.
So you've never retired.
That's why, maybe an 11th title.
Okay. Oh, well, you know what? I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure you could do it, because I see
in the 60 and plus.
We were showing pipes yesterday together.
Yeah,
and,
unfortunately, I can't show my pipes today. I have a sort of long sleeve shirt.
Yeah,
well, you're too impressive to beat now. Like you have such big guns.
Oh yes, true. At my size.
Yeah.
So do you still practice judo?
I mean, I may compete, maybe get a title in the veteran. Oh. No, I have a chance.
Okay, the day you start thinking of this, you call us and we'll open a bottle of wine and we'll discuss.
Actually, you and I were about the same weight class now. I think you moved up.
What? I don't think so, Louis. No. Far away from it.
Oh, it'd be interesting. It would be an interesting match, I think. Youth, you versus experience, me. Maybe we could sell tickets even.
Of course we could. I'm sure we could.
I'm sure we'd get 2 or 3 spectators somewhere.
At least 2. At least 2.
At least 2, yeah.
Yeah. Do you still practice judo?
Well, I haven't been practicing now for
a year and a half.
Yeah.
But you still come on the mat?
I do go on the mat whenever I can, and at the Takahashi Dojo in Ottawa. I was also teaching there for a while, but I look forward to going back, because now I also have a grandson.
Yeah, and are you going to wear this kind of gi?
Yeah, well, actually, this was 1991 World Championship Barcelona.
But I want to know: are you going to still wear that gi for the practice, or?
Yeah, I think it's a good gi. I like the way it goes.
Well,
I think I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, but I like the gi, and this one I like the hair.
Oh my God! Yeah. That's after I won the Canada Cup. I think that was 70 Canada Cup of 1980, I think.
Well, long gi, long hair.
Yeah, we had absolutely no clue about hair. We just let it grow, and wherever the hair grew, there it was.
There it was. Did you think judo would play such a big part in your life?
Yes, I did, actually, because it was such a passion from the get-go. You know what? I told you how passionate I was about it when I was a kid, and I'm in a young adolescent, and so to me it was like on my mind all the time. So I knew it would be with me for life. Of course, I had ambitions to be on the national team, go compete internationally, and all that. Maybe I hadn't foreseen that I would remain in judo in different roles, and as an administrator, coach, and volunteer, because I've been volunteering, quite a long time now with Judo Canada.
And you still do.
And still, and really what's been wonderful is that by staying in touch with judo, I've been able to see so many generations of judoka and know them well. I was telling you about the early generation of Rainer Fischer, Wayne Erdman, and then after that there was what I would call our generation, the one where I was on the team with Kevin Doherty, Phil Takahashi, Joe Melly, and many others. That. So that was my generation. But then after that, shortly after that, there was a generation of the young Nicholas Gill when he started, and his career spanned really two generations of athletes, and I got to coach, and I ended up coaching, Keith Morgan and Nicholas and Michel Buckingham and Luz Argent and
Tarotan, JP Quentin,
Sophie Robert, JP Quentin. Oh, well, yeah. So, and you actually, I coached you. I remember.
Yes, you did, Louis.
Yes, I coached you. It was the Bulgarian Cup.
Bulgarian Cup. Yep.
Yeah, you had actually you had a very good day. I remember you ended up you started a little bit shaky, but it was in pools at first, and then you just got back into it, and you ended up fifth. I remember. Yeah.
Good old time, Louis. Yeah. I was expecting my coach in the morning, and he was there in the morning.
Well,
another time. What is the greatest gift judo has given you?
Well, I mean, there's a gift of having a passion that you carry on for life. I think that's not given to everyone. That's one thing, but also I think one of the greatest gifts, of course, it's you, Pat, knowing you.
Oh, come on.
No, but I was here. No, but seriously, I met so many fantastic judokas and people, and struck friendship with so many judoka, and that friendship that lasts over the years, over decades. And
yes.
That's priceless. So I think it's meeting people and staying in touch with them. That was. And then, when I get together with the old guys, we do what all old judokas do. We have a few beers and we start lying about how good we were, and stuff like that. And
reminisce that you were a great technician.
Yeah, for example, I was a great technician. Yeah, that's. Okay, for those of you who don't know me. My favorite techniques were Osoto, combined with Haragoshi, Ochi, right? And I also had like one of those rare Seoinagi that came out, when I didn't know what to do anymore.
So you were like, "Oh, okay, that's it. It's time. My joker. Can I use it?"
Yeah, can I use the Seoinagi now? Okay.
Oh my. What is your most memorable moment as Canadian judoka?
As an athlete? Let's start with as an athlete. I'll start there.
As an athlete?
Yeah. I think probably my first Pan Am Games victory in '79, because it was the first time.
Would that be one of the picture or something?
That was my second Pan Am Games win in '83.
You look like Rocky, on top of the mountain, like.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because the guy who's second on the podium, it's a great truly great American judoka named Bobby Berland. Bobby was he was third in the world and second at the Olympics in '84. But anyway, we met again and we fought several times. And that day I had the good fortune of beating him twice. But we met years later, and he was looking at me and said, "Fighting you, Louis, was like a boxing match." because I was throwing the right hand, to grab people behind the neck,
just to grab
the back. Yeah.
With great technique.
Yeah. Well,
so, of course.
So a little anecdote: we're fighting, and suddenly there's a break in the fight, and Bobby starts to rub his neck because his neck was hurting because I kept. And Brad Farrow was on the sideline and he was sort of coaching. He said, "Louis, start rubbing your neck too." So I'm going. so that the referees don't think it's only one guy doing the hitting.
It's both sides, exactly. Oh, you guys, and most memorable moment as a coach or a manager. I'm sure I know the answer, but what would it be?
Well, it's the day that Nicholas Gill fluked a silver medal at the 2000 Olympic Games.
Of course. That's it. Delete.
I don't think I've been more nervous at a tournament than that one. I was really like, he was fighting Treno to go into the finals again, and against Inoue. And he had beaten Treno before, but Treno had also had a win against Nick. So I was I was on pin and needles, watching that fight. And then when he won, wow.
Relief. Well, relief. It's probably one of the good memories. The two guys happy of their tournament together.
Yeah.
Huh? So good moment to remember a little with this.
Yeah, I was very lucky, because I tell everybody when I got into coaching, we had a very good team. Like there was Nicholas, but it was also Keith Morgan, and on the women's side, we had Luz Bayargent, we had Michelle Buckinghams, Lastrade also, and so
Caroline
it was
Lepage.
a very strong team,
Yeah.
And so it's easy for a coach to look good when he has good athletes.
True, but you were a good coach as well. I can confirm. So take
thank you.
Take it. But now, maybe you won't thank me, but you like to sing, right?
I do. That's unfortunate for the people I live with, but they got used to it.
Well, where does that come from?
I've thought about that, and we were always a singing family. As far back as I remember, we would go, for example, on trips in the car, and the 4 kids were in the back, and my mom would start a tune, and like a kind of Von Trapp family, we all started singing in the car. It was always part of what we were doing. And when I was young, like I loved listening. I mean, really young, like maybe 4-year-old, and they would put a record on, and I would listen, but try to sing the song, and I would turn on. Okay, maybe I was 3. I don't want to say I was 4 because the thing that kid wasn't normal, but I would sing turning around like the record on the record player.
Oh my God.
I don't remember that. I've been told that.
Okay. Well, for my last question, that's good. And we've been hearing you on the New Year and Christmas parties, and you sing on the karaoke and stuff like that. But now you're okay. You're in arts. You work with arts and culture, so
exactly.
it's Perfect.
Perfect match.
Yeah. So for the last question, it's very interesting because, I received the picture and it might match the picture and maybe it's going to work with the question I'm going to ask you. And it's funny because the person is connected and has been writing things for you. His name is André Sadej. You know André?
Yeah.
And he's asking, did you lose weight? You lost weight. I don't know if you lost weight, but I'm going to show a picture in where Andre is, and I'm going to ask you the question, if you would have a superpower, what would it be? Because right now it looks like you're Darth Vader and you're choking him just with your mind or something. Is that what's happening?
Actually, the true story there is that you have to look behind Andre at Antoine Valois-Fortier and look at how concentrated Antoine is, the look on his face there, right? He's using the force to force Andre to choke himself. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Oh, okay.
It was Antoine Valois-Fortier. Look at the
there we
concentration
go.
on his face, No, if I had a superpower, I always thought that I'd like to be able to speak all the languages in the world fluently.
So you'd be able to talk with anybody,
Exactly.
And you would understand everything
in their own language. And I think it's because
Very.
when you travel, and as I've traveled a lot, there is always a language barrier, and you try to you try to communicate. It's not easy, but imagine if you could, anywhere you go, you're completely fluent in that language. That would
It'd be
quite
amazing.
something.
It
An
would
amazing
be.
power. I mean,
Yes.
there's some people who speak great number of languages, but I'm thinking about like by osmosis. That would be my superpower. By osmosis, I would get to know the language of a person as soon as I meet that person.
Impressive. So you could sing in all languages as well.
Oh my goodness. Now that you mention it, I didn't think of that.
There we go. Louis, this ends up our little presentation of you because now, we're going to try to start to be serious. And we're going to talk about it.
Why? Why be serious? Why so serious?
I said we'll try. Okay. On va essayer d'être sérieux. C'est ce que j'ai dit.
All right.
We have Olympic Games at our doors, Olympic Games starting July 24th. And so we're like a month from there because we're June 25th. And so I thought, we could go through the selection processes, how it went, how it went. And there's a new things at Olympic Games. There's the team competition. And I want to talk about our team and our athletes and to see if there's any jokers or any people that, we have to watch during those games. Mm-hmm. So like I said, first thing, the event will be at the Nippon Budokan site. Tell us just a little bit about this site, Louis.
Well, first of all, the Budokan, it's an extraordinary site for judo. I mean, it's mythical. And this is where actually Doug Rogers won his silver medal at the Olympics in Tokyo in 1964. So going back there for all judokas in the world, I think it's an amazing feeling. It's been there for so long, and the greatest championships have been held there. Each year in Japan, the All Japan is being held there. And it's truly it's a special place. So for them to go there and to be able to compete there, it even adds to the Olympic experience.
True. It's going to be the 14th apparition. How do you say apparition in English? Appearance?
Well,
for judo.
The 14th time.
That judo is at the games.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 14th. And it started in Tokyo in 64.
In 64, it was a demonstration sport, indeed. Then they skipped 68. There was no judo in 68, and it became a full-fledged Olympic sport in 72 in Munich.
There we go. See, it's interesting. We're going to talk about history. So for the process of selection for all the athletes, you know, in my book, I have that everything started on May 25th, 2018, and it ended up this June 13th, 2021, with a World Championship that was happening in Budapest.
Right.
That's a long process, eh?
Well, it's unprecedented. You know what judo what the whole world has lived through for the past almost 2 years now. So it played shambles with the lives of so many people. You know, I feel. I'd like to say that at this point, I just want to take a little aside to mention I really feel for all the judo instructors, all the club owners, you know, who have suffered, you know, because their business were closed and everything, you know, and that's a tough time, you know, if you make a living with this and it's taken away from you. I really sympathize, you know, with what they've been going through, you know. I just wanted to mention that. And and the athletes themselves, you know, well, they had their whole preparation, you know, upended, their expectations thrown away when they thought that, you know, that's it, we're done. They had to live with the, you know, with the effect of the pandemic, the uncertainty. Will there be any Olympic Games? How can we train? I think Judo Canada, you guys have done a tremendous job at keeping the athletes trained and motivated during this very difficult time, you know. So in terms of the process itself, I mean, if there are people who are listening or are not aware of this, like you said, normally it's a two-year process, which was extended in this case. The points that you scored in the first year of the process are halved, and then the second year, your points are full, you know, and you score points by going to Masters, Grand Chelem, Grand Slams, all those tournaments on the IGF circuits, and you score points based on your result. And there is an IGF ranking list. And what is important to know is that there are also there is seeding in the World Championships and at the Olympics. You know, the top 8 athletes are seeded so that they don't have to meet each other until the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So being seeded is usually a good thing. But on the other hand, you know, I was looking at the top 8 right now in several weight classes, and some weight classes are so deep in talent that the next 8 are practically as good.
Yeah, it's good, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
In some division, it's going to be.
And in
it's
some divisions,
tough.
you know, like you have super athletes in some divisions that are not even seated in the top 8 because they didn't compete enough, or I think the great Shohei is not seated, I believe. Nagase, the Japanese,
even Nagase, yeah,
is not seated.
Exactly.
Teddy Riner is not seated.
So they're going to be like jokers, you know, like
exactly. You know, so it's all relative. You know how much the seeding will be important this time around. But you know, I'm glad to see that we have athletes in the top 8, and of course we have one who's top first.
Ouais. Louis, 8 catégories. Il y a 8 catégories de poids pour individuel et le tournoi par équipe. Est-ce que tu peux nous dire un peu, on va essayer de le faire bilingue pour expliquer le tournoi par équipe puisque c'est nouveau. First time that we're going to have the team tournament, so we're going to explain a little bit in bilingual language to make sure that everybody understands how it works. But for your information, Canada is still on the list for the event. So Louis, can you explain us how it's going to work? Peux-tu nous expliquer comment ça va fonctionner, s'il te plaît?
You see on the table there the weight categories that are being used. There's 3 women weight classes, minus 57, which means that if you're minus 57 or minus 52, minus 48, you can compete there. minus 70, which means that, you know, you're minus 70, minus 63, you can compete, etc. So minus, and then I can see so well, it should be plus 70 there. That would be, and then on the men's, it's minus 73, minus 90, and plus 90. Okay, so you can move up athletes, you know, in a weight class for the team tournament. If you have enough, if you have a team, you know, that can fill those spots, then you're in. This is why Canada is in right now with the rest of these countries that you see. And the seeding of that tournament will be based on the result, the table of result per country after the individual event. So, for example, if Japan comes out first as the country with the most medals, etc., then they would be seeded first, etc. You know, so winning medals, obviously, in the individual event helps you to get seeded.
Peux-tu nous le faire un peu en français, juste pour expliquer aux gens comme il faut qu'ils comprennent, qu'on fasse la...
Oui. Alors donc, il y a 3 catégories féminines, 3 catégories masculines dans l'équipe. Les athlètes peuvent être surclassés. Par exemple, un athlète de 52 kg peut combattre en moins de 57. Un athlète de moins 100 kg peut combattre en plus 90, par exemple. D'accord? Mais tant que vous avez les athlètes qui peuvent, disons, appartenir à ces catégories de poids, vous avez une équipe. Donc, le Canada, comme vous voyez, a suffisamment d'athlètes là qui peuvent rentrer dans ces catégories-là. D'accord? Alors, par exemple, on n'a pas de moins de 90 kg aux Jeux Olympiques, mais Antoine Valois-Fortier, qui est moins de 81, pourrait combattre en moins de 90. Exemple. On n'a pas de plus 100 aux Jeux Olympiques, mais par exemple, Chadi El Nahas, qui est moins 100, pourrait combattre en plus de 90. D'accord? Et puis, les têtes de série pour ces équipes vont être décidées par les résultats du tournoi individuel. Donc, il y aura un classement des nations basé sur leurs résultats et on se servira de ça pour faire les têtes de série. Voilà.
OK. Merci. On sait que pour le Canada, la situation pour la moins de 70 kilos, on avait Kelita Zupanchik qui était pour le tournoi individuel, mais elle va devenir maman dans probablement quelques jours. Alors, ça risque de changer la donne pour le Canada. Canada had minus 70 kilo Kelita Zupanchik that was supposed to fight for the Olympic Games, and she will become mom soon. So,
yeah. So we wish you well, Kelita. You know, all the best in motherhood.
Of course.
I know you'll be looking at your former teammates there when they compete at the Olympics. You'll watch them, I'm sure.
Tout à fait. Okay, so let's start about the individual competition in the team. 7 men, 7 women, donc 7 hommes, 7 femmes, pour un total de 14. So maximum is 14 for a full team for a country. To the number of participants, I found on the IGF the information that there is a total of 193 women and 193 men. 193 hommes et femmes qui vont combattre aux Jeux Olympiques. Donc, le même nombre. Il y a la parité au niveau des participants et des participantes. Louis, est-ce que tu es fier de l'édition 2021? Are you proud of the team 2021 that will go to the Olympic Games?
More than proud. I think we have, I don't think we've ever had a team that won as many medals on the IGF circuit ever. I mean, we really are blessed with a fantastic team, and we've had great teams in the past. So that says a lot, you know. But all these athletes there have won countless number of medals on the IGF circuits in Masters, Grand Chelem, Grand Slam, tough tournaments, and you know, we have athletes who have placed in the top 8 at the World Championships. Some who have medaled. and we have, of course, we're going to the Olympic Games with a world champion in Jessica Klimke. So I think this is a fantastic team, and I'm sure I speak for everybody to say that we're all extremely proud and enthusiastic to see that team going to Tokyo. Donc c'est une super équipe qu'on a et on peut en être très fier parce que c'est une équipe qui a eu de grands succès dans tous les tournois internationaux de la FIJ. Et je pense que c'est peut-être l'équipe la plus performante qu'on ait jamais eue à ce niveau. Back to you, Pat.
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm back. Don't worry. I'm always there. I'm listening to you. But our team, we have the team that is on the screen right now. There's some athletes that will not participate to the event because there's already a number one participating. So we have Jessica, number one. We have Shadi, Arthur. We have Catherine Baute, Chemin-Pinard, Antoine Valois-Fortier, and Miss Ekaterina Guica. So, strong team.
6, right?
Oui, c'est ça. Donc, officieusement, nous avons ces 6 participants. We have to say this is officieux. Comment on dit officieux en anglais?
Officially, and I would say non-officially.
Non-officially, but it's whatever.
Well,
so because
officially we have 6 athletes who qualified.
Yes, true. But the announcement, just to let you know, the official announcement that will be made by Canadian Olympic Committee will be on June 30th. So this is when they will announce the official team officially of our team selected for the games. Alors, c'est le 30 juin officiellement que le Comité olympique canadien va annoncer l'équipe olympique pour le Canada. Donc, Monsieur Louis, Mr. Louis,
I don't like that,
Mr.
Louis. I'm thinking, now comes the tough question.
Of course, the tough question is, do you have some prediction? Est-ce que tu as des prédictions, some analysis of our team, of our athletes? What are you going to tell us about our athletes? What do you expect? What do you think? Qu'est-ce qui va arriver?
Well, we can go weight category per weight category.
Allons-y. Une catégorie à la fois. One at a time.
Ladies first, women first.
Ladies first.
Okay, so 52 kilo, it's Guica Ekaterina, who's our representative. Donc, Guica va combattre en moins de 52 kilos. Actually, I'm looking forward for her to break the top 8. She's been hitting close to top 8. She ends up 9th, and I think I think this is the time for her to really make that extra step and be recognized among the top 8 athletes in the world. So she has a great stamina. She's a very talented athlete from the time she was a young athlete. Everybody knows that Guica is a very talented athlete, and so I look forward, really look forward for her to suddenly make that extra step. She just placed 9th at the World Championship, I believe. She just lost before the quarterfinal, and I think she can go further.
Ouais. Fais-nous la traduction en français, comme ça on va voir tout ça.
Oui, alors donc je disais que Guica, c'est une athlète qui est très talentueuse depuis qu'elle est toute jeune. On la suit depuis longtemps. C'est une athlète qui a déjà frappé plusieurs fois à la porte des top 8. Là, récemment, au championnat du monde, elle a fait 9e. Et puis, j'espère qu'à l'occasion des Jeux Olympiques, elle pourra faire passer ce cap, disons, monter
ce cap, oui. Ouais. Tout à fait. Qui est-ce que qui on doit surveiller chez les 52 là?
Oh, well, I guess the favorite is. If you show me the list of
C'est Utabe.
top,
C'est la
Utabe,
japonaise
of course, goes
Utabe.
as a favorite, of course, and I would have to look at the list and tell you, who's going to be her closest opponent, but I don't have the list in front of me right now.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to go through all this. Don't worry. I have a little list on my side, but we haven't confirmation from many countries at the same time. IGF has announced the qualified athletes, but we have no confirmation that they will be the ones selected by the country. Some countries have officially, announced their team, but some countries haven't.
Exactly,
haven't decided yet. So
this is why there might even be changes in a top 8.
Oui, tout à fait.
Exactly. Because, like, for example, I was thinking, I haven't seen the official Russian selection yet.
No.
And that could play a role, like if they pick the person who's, out of that the top 8, maybe, might change, the list. So until we know what all countries, have finalized their selection,
it's difficult to yes, exactly. But Russian, they always have surprises.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of problems.
Ça, je suis pas au courant. I don't know that.
Well, no, it's because I'm saying, I mean,
I'm joking.
No, I'm just saying at the Olympics, people might be surprised. It's they compete under the they will compete as the Russian Judo Federation.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, next one. Our next lady.
Well, what else to say? Jessica Klimkate. In my opinion, logically, she's the hands-on favorite to win the Olympic Games. She demonstrated at the World Championship that she can win all the way to first place. She beat some very, very tough and strong competitors there.
Strong competitors.
And I'm thinking about Stoll, the German, Gyakova, the Kosovar. These are really tough, even the Cuban was, and then of course she beats. Now I think it's for the third time in a row, the Japanese. Now it will be a different Japanese at the Olympic Games. It will be Yoshida, but Jessica has beaten Yoshida in their last 2 matches.
Yes. So she can.
They can only meet in the final if they meet, right? I mean, since they're seeded 1 and 2, I believe, for the Olympic Games. So,
if she has,
I'm not sure of that. By the way, I would have to look at the list, but I think Jessica Klimkate is the woman to beat at the Olympics. I think everybody, so it's a great confidence booster for her. At the same time, everybody else is ready, for her, and so she'll have to bring her top game, and I know she can. So there we go.
I'm sure she will be ready. I'm sure she will be ready.
I have no doubt, and she always has this incredible level of energy that she brings into every fight, no matter how long the fight goes. She's able to. Okay, this is not my dog. This is Pat's dog. Okay.
Oui, et voilà. C'est confirmé. We knew it. We had that discussion, me and you, Louis. Which dog was gonna bark first? Well, I win. C'est mon Léon qui jappe. C'est mon Léon qui jappe.
Yeah, so he barked just when I said that she was. She's the Klimkate is the favorite, right?
Oh no, he would love to bark for and say yes, but I think Annie, my wife is holding the mouth like this and being like, shut up, tais-toi.
Okay.
Ben naturellement, le résumé c'est que
and she can do it. That's it.
Oui, ben le résumé en français c'est que on voit personne d'autre que Jessica Klimkate autre que qu'elle peut devenir la championne olympique.
Je crois elle a battu durant les tournois qui l'ont qualifiée. Elle a battu toutes les pointures dans sa catégorie.
Et les plus fortes.
Elle est plus forte. Elle a battu. Et puis, quand c'était, il y avait un grand chelem, je me rappelle, c'était, je crois, en 2018 au Japon, où elle a gagné. Elle a battu les 3 japonaises qui étaient, qui étaient là.
Ouais. Donc,
alors, non, c'est définitivement quelqu'un qui peut postuler à la médaille d'or.
Excellent. Thank you. La dernière et non la moindre, notre Catherine Beauchemin-Pinard.
4 BP.
4 BP, oui, notre 4 BP.
Catherine Beauchemin-Pinard. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just looking before this interview. I was looking at her results, in the past year when they start doing the tournaments again, and she's had very, very strong, good results. So
yes,
she's how do you say that? She's on a roll. Basically, she's on a roll. She's had great results in the tournaments. She decided not to participate in the World Championship because she wanted to just not stop her preparation for the game. So I think she's somebody that we can definitely count in the top 8, and I wish her to go all the way to the podium.
Et on va dire un mot qui est à la mode là, en ce moment, puisqu'il y a beaucoup de hockey. Là. Elle a le momentum. Elle a le momentum.
C'est ça.
Voilà.
Elle a fait très bien dans les tournois qui ont précédé les Jeux, là, dans la dernière année, je veux dire. Donc, c'est solide. Techniquement, elle a continué à progresser. C'est toujours quelqu'un qui a une de grandes capacités en force, physiquement, mais elle a continué à progresser techniquement également. Et puis, je crois que on voit le résultat là, avec ce qu'elle a fait là dans la dernière année.
Oui, et puis quand elle est classée 7e dans le classement au total, donc elle va être bien positionnée sur le tableau. Là. Donc, voilà. C'est bon signe, ça aussi.
C'est ça. Alors,
OK.
Passons chez les messieurs.
With the boys, and let's start with...
men. I think they're men.
Oh, men. Okay, of course. So let's start with the first one, our smallest, the minus 73 kilo, notre bon vieux Arthur Margelidon. That I would call, I would call him the artist. So, allez, c'est à toi.
Yeah, well, at the beginning we had these little jokes about my technique, etc. Well, Margelidon is at the other end of the spectrum.
He's like, yes. That's why I call him the artist. C'est l'artiste.
I think he's a fabulous technician. He's like, he has this very effective, efficient judo. Big throws. His judo is all, he's very Japanese-like in a way. I mean, I could, and so, and again, that's another person who's had very good results in last year. I think it's interesting, probably for Arthur to see that is the Swedish nemesis second in the World Championship, because these two have fought many times. And many times. And I don't know where it stands. They've shared the wins and the losses, but the last time they met at the tournament, Margelidon beat Macias not that long ago. So, and Margelidon has beaten Hashimoto. He's one of the rare foreigners to ever beat Hashimoto in a tournament. So basically, he had a very, very close fight, which lost in overtime against Fabio Basile from Italy.
Yes.
But it was close, very close. And these are two good technicians, and it was very entertaining to watch. Very nice. So, Arthur, on a good day.
Oh. Est-ce que j'ai perdu Louis? Louis, es-tu toujours présent? I don't know. Is he still there? Is Louis still on?
And he has ups and downs, like a good tournament, and then not so good. Good tournament. Alors Arthur, t'es
Oui, Arthur?
capable du portugais. Alors, donc, faut juste que tu sois mindé, que tu sois dans la bonne disposition d'esprit. Et puis tu peux être sur le podium au jeu. Ça fait aucun doute dans mon esprit.
Mais c'est sûr et certain que souvent, dans le... Ah, tu peux pas. Est-ce que tu peux m'entendre là? Est-ce que c'est mieux? Is it better?
Oui, je t'entends.
OK. L'Internet, Internet commence à avoir des ondulations. Là. Il commence à avoir un peu de difficulté.
OK.
Mais ça revient, ça repart. Ça va fonctionner. We'll be fine. Oui, mais Arthur, souvent, moi, en tout cas, pour l'avoir vu dans quelques tournois, c'est souvent le premier combat. Il doit se mettre dedans, le premier combat là, pour bien se partir, bien se réchauffer. Donc, mais après, ah oui, il peut nous faire des hippons magnifiques et il peut faire le top 10 des plus beaux hippons de la journée. Là. Et naturellement, son Suédois, ben celui-là, il en a servi plus qu'une ou deux. Là. Il en a servi quelques-unes. Ouais. Yeah. Donc,
alors voilà.
On va voir.
Donc, on peut passer maintenant à notre très grand Antoine Valois-Fortier.
Alors, c'est le maître, lui, là, c'est le Yoda de l'équipe.
Je sais. Mais en plus long.
Oui, en plus long, tout à fait.
En plus long. Non, mais bon, alors, je crois que tout le monde connaît Antoine Valois-Fortier, c'est 4 médailles au niveau mondial ou olympique. Et c'est l'homme là qui peut égaler ou surpasser même le record de M. Gill, dépendamment de la couleur de la médaille à Tokyo. Hein.
Oui.
Alors, d'ailleurs, il y avait quelques années, je disais à Antoine, allez, vas-y, il faut y aller, là, faut que tu dépasses, Nicolas Gill. Et il m'avait dit, Louis, il dit, j'ai juste besoin d'une médaille d'or. Il dit, on ne parlera plus jamais de Nicolas Gill.
Ah oui.
Alors, fais-nous un grand plaisir, Antoine, va nous chercher cette médaille d'or.
Qu'on en a entendu parler. Oui. Bon débarras.
Ouais. Alors, Antoine, il avait bien redémarré la saison. Après ça, il a eu un peu sa blessure aux côtes, ce qui l'a empêché, bien entendu, de participer au championnat du monde. Et donc, mais là, d'après ce que j'ai entendu dire, qu'il est de retour en pleine santé.
He's back. Yes.
Pleine santé. Et puis, c'est quelqu'un de tellement professionnel, de tellement consciencieux dans son approche de la préparation. Je suis sûr que tous les judokas là, dans sa catégorie, quand ils regardent le tableau et qu'ils se disent Antoine Valois-Fortier, ils savent que c'est une guerre qui s'en vient.
Oui. Et ça risque d'être une bonne guerre parce que là, il est tombé 9e au classement.
Oui, donc, il est 9e au classement, mais comme je dis, c'est une des catégories où finalement le classement est peut-être moins significatif parce que je regarde ceux qui sont en dessous, là, comme Ivanov, le Bulgare, il y en a d'autres là, dont les noms m'échappent. Ouais. Il y en a un autre 4 en dessous de lui qui sont super forts également. Et puis, comme je dis, je ne sais pas, tant qu'on ne sait pas si c'est Kubetsov, le russe, qui va au jeu, parce que Kubetsov est dans le top 8, le russe.
De mémoire, attends, je vais te dire ça. Et parce que, of course, I have access right away to the system online. Kubetsov, il est 8e actuellement.
Voilà, donc c'est ça. Donc, si jamais, par exemple, les Russes choisissaient Karnouzaev ou quelqu'un d'autre. Mais juste pour te demander, donc on voit, c'est une catégorie qui est vraiment avec les 73 kilos sans doute, mais les 81, c'est la catégorie avec une tonne de talent, de gars durs,
avec la profondeur.
Just to say it in English a bit, so, you know, Antoine, 4 medals, in the world or Olympic Games. I think, did I only say in French that we want him to win that gold so that we don't have to talk about Nicolas Gill anymore? Yeah.
Yes, we said it in French. Yes. So we
Yeah,
want to make
French.
sure
So
they understand in English.
I said so do us this favor, Antoine. Go win that gold medal. Surpass your coach.
That would be tremendous.
That would be tremendous. And this is what I wish wholeheartedly for him and for all of us.
And for the last, we have our new I would call him the next gen, the new star coming up. You know, the rising star. Shadi El Naas.
What a story! What a story, Shadi El Naas. You know, like in the past 3 years, you know, like he suddenly moved into that. After finishing, I think 5th at the Junior World, he moved into the senior circuit, and right away made a mark. When he fought in Japan, he placed 2nd there. Nicolas Gill was telling me that the coaches, you know, were saying, "Where did you find that guy?" He says, "Well, he's been there. He's been in the juniors, you know." No, Shadi is truly talented. You know, he's especially in that weight category. You know, like the higher you go, you don't have as many technicians, you would say, as you would say, for example, in a lighter weight class. But he's among the good technicians. He's among the good technicians of the 100 kilos. He has a very good mind, a tactical mind. He's able to change tactics and find solutions during fights. And he has been progressing, you know, steady. Like this. So, it was like 2019, first World Championship senior, I believe. It was his first, I believe. You know, and he placed 7th, right? And now he just placed 5th.
Yep.
And man, you know, that Georgian that he lost to for bronze, he had beaten just a few months before, you know.
Yes.
In Georgia, actually, he had beaten him in Georgia. So, you know, but it won't be that Georgian that he meets at the Olympics anyway. It will be Jani going for Georgia too. You know, he's never, and he is someone basically that I think that can scare everybody in the weight class. You know, just ask Fonseca. You know.
Well,
I mean, Fonseca, you know, has progressed as well. That's, you know, Fonseca over the past 2 years has truly progressed. I mean, he's become a truly very good, very great twice world champion. You know?
A strong contender, yeah.
Oh, but I'm more than the favorite, right? But the thing is that I know that he won't want to fight Shadi. So I think at least not until the final.
I think they don't. It's not Shadi they're scared of. They're scared of his hips. Ils ont peur de ses hanches.
Well, that's it. I mean, what I'm saying is he's unusually flexible also for a big guy.
Incredibly.
He has huge throws, and you know he can throw forward. He has this very tactical coachy that he's been using more and more. The way he beat that monster beast Adamian, the Russian. Adamian, you know, that was quite something because he had lost. See, that's why I say Shadi keeps learning. Every time he meets somebody, he loses to that person. Okay, well, the second time he meets that person, it's already closer, and the third time he meets that person, he beats him. You know.
Yeah. And he confirmed because, you know, he lost to the Egyptian in Montreal and later on beat the Egyptian like that. So, yeah, he learns fast.
Yeah.
True.
So, you know, I mean, it's a category which is like obviously tough. You know, there are some very good, you know, I'm thinking of Jani, but also there's Aaron Wolf, the Japanese. Although we haven't seen much of him. And I'd like to talk about the Japanese team a little bit because it's interesting to talk about that after we finish with the Canadians.
Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to talk about this. But
because we have to cut off. Is that it?
Well, we're already at an hour.
Well,
and 15 minutes.
I want to finish with Shadi here because you were 7th, 5th. So what's the next step, right? It's a podium.
It's a podium. Exactly. And he's ranked number 8 globally. So anything can happen from there, and all in his hands. Ouais, c'est ce Shadi et ses hanches. Monsieur Hanche de Feu. Je ne sais pas comment on va donner comme surnom, là, mais voilà. Je pense que tout le monde... Donc, overall, we wish the best to our team, that until the games, no injuries, don't get sick, and have fun.
This is. I don't have any advice to give because these are great. They're pros. They know what to do. But I just want to say that you're so close to the games now. It's important that you listen to your body as well. You have to listen to the coach, but you have to listen to your body as well. And then you can tell the coach sometime if your body disagrees with the coach. You have to arrive healthy at the games. No injuries. You want to be hungry. So no, it's this is the final stage of preparation now. So I'm sure I know that you have great coaches, at the national training centers, and they know all about catering, and they know about all that, and you have to know about yourself. So that's it. That's the only thing I would say.
Excellent. So now I give you your 3 minutes to talk about the Japanese team. Tu as tes 3 minutes pour nous parler de l'équipe japonaise.
Oui, je vais parler un peu de l'équipe japonaise, ce qui est intéressant parce que je regardais, l'équipe des substituts, leur équipe de substituts. Et je me suis dit, cette équipe de substituts pourrait finir première également au classement des nations. Et la question qui est intéressante, c'est que d'un côté, ils ont choisi leur équipe il y a déjà en 2020, en fait. Ils ont dit que ça allait être les gars qui s'étaient sélectionnés en 2020 aller au jeu. Ça a l'avantage que ça a enlevé la pression de la sélection. Donc, ils ont pu se concentrer, disons, sur l'entraînement. Mais l'entraînement a été perturbé à cause de la pandémie. On ne les a pas vus sortir trop en compétition non plus. Alors, on peut se poser la question, de façon générale, les Japonais, quand ils combattent chez eux, sont super forts. On le sait, on l'a vu dans des championnats du monde précédents. Voilà. Mais maintenant, avec tout ce qui est venu bousculer les choses, la pandémie, les jeux, avec le Covid et tout ça, est-ce que ça va jouer des tours un petit peu sur leur psychologie, disons? Voilà.
Oui.
Et puis, est-ce que les athlètes que vous avez sélectionnés il y a 1 an sont encore les meilleurs? Est-ce que celui-là qui vient de gagner un championnat du monde n'est peut-être pas plus affûté? On ne sait pas. Voilà. Mais bon, comme je dis, ils ont 2 équipes qui pourraient facilement finir première au tableau des médailles. Donc, par contre, c'est possible qu'ils finissent 2e chez les hommes et 2e chez les femmes. Ça, même premier au classement général. Et ça arrive parfois. Alors, pour les Japonais, au niveau des hommes, je crois que pour la suprématie au niveau des hommes, le danger viendra principalement de la Géorgie. Et du côté féminin, pour la suprématie japonaise féminine, ça viendra de la France.
La France.
Ouais. Donc, ça, c'est les deux. France. Voilà. Mais d'un niveau global, il n'y a aucun doute pour moi, à mon avis, que le Japon va terminer avec au classement général premier normalement. Voilà, c'est ce que je voulais dire. So I don't know if that's that interesting that I should say it in English, but I think the overall Japanese team, they have even their substitute team could probably win the overall ranking of nation at the Olympic Games. But the question is that, do they have all the best athletes on their Olympic team right now, given that they were selected a year ago? And also there is a whole situation of these are going to be quote unquote weird games. Okay, let's face it. You're going to be you're going to see athletes, top names being scratched off the list at the last second because they have COVID, for example.
For example,
that could happen. There's going to be some surprises. That's almost sure. And so psychologically, how will they deal with that? That's a question to be answered during the games. I think they will finish first in terms of overall classification, but they might place second in the men's side if Georgia is their main competitor there, and on the women's side, it's going to be between the first and second place. Normally, are between the Japanese team and the French team.
So it will be an interesting.
It will be truly a special. It will be an interesting game because of this added uncertainty brought, by the situation that we know. As I said, athletes can be scratched off the starting list, and that's
at the last moment.
Suppose that and in judo we're lucky because everything is in one day. Like each weight class is in one day. But think of team sports. That's you lose your star player. You start well, but you lose your star player. The next day or the next match.
Yeah.
You win the semifinals to go into the final of the or the quarterfinal, and you're into the semi, right, for the sprint. But between then and between the quarter and the semis, suddenly you have COVID. So it's gonna be a little bit of a crazy situation.
Spectators, no, there's
they've agreed to have 10,000 spectators. I read today that they said there will be 10,000 spectators at the game allowed. Now, I don't know what this means. Are they going to bring the 10,000 spectators around? Well, I will tell you what, if they allow 10,000 spectators, we know that if there's a sport, where the Japanese will flock to, it's judo is one of them.
Judo. It's going to be one of them.
I think there will be a crowd in the Budokan. Within the limits imposed, by the health regulations there.
Yeah.
But the Japanese people will certainly go see the judo. So
that is en français, je sais, c'est une vérité de la palisse là. Ça c'est.
Merci de me comparer à Monsieur de la Palisse, c'est gentil.
Well, Louis, that was the word of the end, my friend. We did it. You did it. You did the chat with Pat. It was amazing, and I want to thank you very much for this.
Well, great interviewer. All right.
Oh my God! We didn't do half of all the jokes we did yesterday at the practice, but it's okay. We were a little bit more serious today. But
Yeah, but we're still. Remember, during the practice we were drinking too, and it was different, right?
I don't remember the end, but no, I'm.
Anyway, you drink that much?
Hey, yeah, we did. Louis, Jani, thank you very much for this chat with Pat. We really appreciate, and let's hope the best for our team for the Olympic Games, and let's get to talk together on another chat with Pat after the games, and we'll discuss what we had and how it went. Are you okay for a next chat with Pat after the games?
Certainly, and I wish all the best to our team, à notre équipe olympique. Nous sommes fiers de vous. Donc, allez-y, faites la job. On sait que vous êtes capable de la faire. Donc, voilà.
Allez vous amuser. Go have fun. Go Canada. All right, Louis, thank you very much. And we talk after the games. Have a good weekend, my friend. Passe un bon week-end, mon ami. Et on se reparle bientôt.
Merci, thank you.
Ciao, Louis.
Bye-bye.